Xavier here for Hum the Earth, signing in from just outside of Tomasov, a small town east of Bratislava where I was just last, and where I had a great time. Stayed in a really cool hostel, wild elephants, one of the best hostel experiences I've had in a while. So I managed to pull myself away because I was excited to discover more of Slovakia. It has some really interesting elements to its history. Being part of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire means there's a lot of castles, but also already I've noticed in the towns there's also a Soviet flair to parts of Slovakia because it was part of the Soviet Union. When the Soviet Union, quote-unquote, delivered them from Nazi Germany. So, kind of going from one devil to another there, but now they are considered part of Central Europe. So there's some modernity mixed with some history. So looking forward to delving deeper into that over the course of our journey here through Western Slovakia. So I made it to Nitra right when it was getting dark, and I headed to a hostel, the one that seemed to be the best reviewed. When I got there, they were full. Then I called the other hostels and they were all full, except for this one. So the guy said, you can come over. I got here, but there was no one at the reception. I called, they said, yeah, there's no one at the reception right now. So I went to eat and bought some Slovak beer for research purposes, of course. This one is 150 years old and is aiming for another 150. I guess they'll be done at that point, probably because of global warming or something. But maybe Nitra, Slovakia wouldn't mind a little bit of global warming. It's a chilly, windy day here, but the sun is out, so I'm going to check out the town. think I should learn some Russian. I say that because so far in Slovakia, including just a few moments ago, people have been trying to speak with me. It seems that so far Slovaks appear to be more social than Austrians or Germans. I'd put maybe Austrians being a little bit more social than Germans. A lot of people try to talk to me, but hello, not that guy. But I do not really understand any Slavic. My Slavic speaking ability and hearing ability is about 0. So the reason why I say I should learn Russian is because there are quite a few Slavic languages. Whichever one is spoken here in Slovakia, Czech, Belarusian, and I can't remember the other countries, but there's a bunch of kind of variations of this one language, Russian being one of them. And I just know that Russian is a language that a lot of people can understand in Eastern Europe and other parts of the world, Asia as well. So that might be something that I'll put a little effort into. Maybe download a podcast or something. Speaking of effort, doing a little climbing out of Nitra here, which I enjoyed. And to my surprise, we're actually on a really nice bicycle path here. Was not expecting to see this in Slovakia. Let's see how long it lasts. That's probably what that woman was talking to me about. She was probably saying, yes, please, foreigner, enjoy our world-class bike path here in Nitra. This might be a Daewoo, or used to be a Daewoo manufacturing plant, which I think is a Korean car company. The auto industry is actually Slovakia's biggest employer. Skoda is a big one, Volkswagen, Kia. Actually, this one kind of looks like it's maybe not running anymore. These companies chose Slovakia because wages are very low, but it's still within Europe. So there's basically open borders. So if you make the cars in Slovakia with cheap labor, then there's no paperwork and customs and clearing customs and stuff like that to deliver the cars to the rest of Europe. So it's pretty convenient in that regard.
So it was a tough last 10 kilometers bicycling through the mountains, but I made it to Banska Styawnica, to the hostel here in town. I was looking at the windows and saw no lights and figured that was a bad sign. Actually, while I was coming to town, I was thinking it's probably not going to be open because it's the winter. But I managed to call the owner, and he said he's going to make his way down in about an hour. I guess he doesn't live in town here, just for me. So that's pretty cool. So while we wait, let's get something to eat.
Mali všetky naraz 50 kusov, že pôjdu zobrať do Maďarska. Nebudú také 5-kilové, budú okolo 3.
So that was some pretty good pizza and some pretty good company. I was sitting with a family from some locals who were pretty amused by the fact that I was a foreigner bicycle touring in Slovakia during the winter. So yeah, and I was happy to speak to some Slovakians who knew how to speak English. So I was having a good time socializing with them and enjoying some good pizza, which was $6 or €6 rather for that pie. And then I returned to my hostel, which is where I am right now, which is this old, the guy told me 400-year-old, I guess mansion or something. And I have the place to myself, all for the low price of €11 per night, which seems like a pretty good deal considering that it is fully equipped. Obviously kitchen, hot showers, and right in the center of town, which will make things perfect for tomorrow morning when I'll be going for a stroll. The town of Banska Styawnica is the oldest mining town in Slovakia. And in fact, here, where is now the main street of Styawnica, we have one of the mine entrances. So I was hanging out on the off-ramp for the main highway there because my phone was telling me I had to cross over the highway at some point.
I was trying to figure out how to do it. And then this car pulls up to me super fast and brakes like right in front of me. I was like, whoa, what is going on? And then he pulled up next to me and he said, no, you can't go on the highway. And then I recognized from their shirts that they're police officers. I guess they were an unmarked car. And I explained to them I was just trying to cross the highway, and then they kindly pointed me to how to get over. So they're serious about not going on the highway here in Slovakia, and probably also serious then about wearing a helmet. So I am glad that I picked one up. But I've had no complaints about taking these smaller roads here. In fact, it's felt kind of fairy tale like. The landscapes, especially yesterday and today, are just really amazing. And I mean, probably the best I've seen in Europe so far. There's loudspeakers on the electricity poles, and the music just started playing in this town. Not sure why, but I dig it.
Which is quite attractive, with many of the buildings being well preserved Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque mansions from the late Middle Ages, so the 16th century, when Banska Bystrica was the biggest copper producer in the world. And this is why the ex-mansions here are so detailed.
So despite the rain, I quite enjoyed my time in Banska Bystrica. Like Banska Štiavnica, the town where we were before, this is a town that grew to prominence thanks to mining. In fact, Banska roughly translates to mining town from Slavic to English. But today we are going to go to another town also with rich history, but with no riches. I'm planning to make it to Vlokolinek or something, which is a well-preserved traditional small mountain town. So that should be pretty cool. But to get to see a mountain town, you have to go up some mountains. So it looks like we're going to some less populated areas here, so doesn't seem like we have smaller alternative paved roads here, so we're now riding on a highway with no shoulder, but I do believe I'm allowed to cycle here because it's not one of the main national highways that has the cars only sign that I've seen, so should be permitted here. Just when I thought Slovakia couldn't get any better, I find this one-lane alternative road to where I'm going. Should be nice and quiet with some great scenery. Definitely beautiful out here, but no longer getting reception, and there's been diverging paths, so I'm not entirely sure that I'm still on track here, which is a little bit worrying, but what else can you do but keep moving? Increasingly beginning to think that I'm not going the right way here. That's not good. Back in civilization. Pretty happy about it. Things were getting pretty dire up there. Started raining even harder. I didn't have any food or no water left, and yeah, it was pretty cold. So we're definitely not even close to making it to where I was planning to get to today. It was kind of a rough trail. Things were really muddy and really slow. So now I'm just looking for somewhere to spend the night. Feels like I'm in heaven. Found a place in the town of Libtovska Osada for 15 euro. So not terribly cheap, but not too bad for a private room in Central Europe. Got my own TV, so I'll be watching hopefully some Slovak television later. And my own private bathroom. Let's take a shower. Although there were some moments of anxiety yesterday, it was actually kind of fun. It's been a while since I've been lost in the mountains in dire situations. So today we'll be going to the traditional mountain village that we were supposed to get to yesterday. and I'm not sure what the road is going to be like on the way there. Of a traditional Central European mountain town. So as you can see, here in the mountains, life can be hard, so you have to make do with what you have. And what do we have? A lot of trees. So you can see that pretty much everything here, except for the foundations, are made out of logs. So these are rocks that they would have found nearby as well. But everything else, including the roofs, are made out of wood found from within these eastern Slovakian mountains. Made it to Liptovsky Mikulca, and this will be where we end our journey through Western Slovakia. A real fairy tale journey for me because of the nice people, the quaint scenic little towns, and the financial relief in comparison to the much more expensive Germany and Austria. And I don't think the fairy tale will be ending, especially that I'm anticipating snow for our next journey through eastern Slovakia, which I'm very excited for because from what I'm hearing, eastern Slovakia is a little bit like going back in time. It is the more traditional Slovakian culture half of the country. It's more agricultural as opposed to Western Slovakia, which is more working class. So that should be pretty interesting. And I'm anticipating it will be as scenic, if not more so, than Western Slovakia. But you don't have to say bye to Western Slovakia yet, because coming up on the channel will be the full videos of Nitra, Banska Styavnica, Banska Bystrica and of Wilkonik, which we saw a bit of today. And yeah, and then it will be the video journey through Eastern Slovakia.
And if you'd like to support Hum of the Earth, you can do so via my Patreon, which I'll be putting a link to in the description below the video.
So I hope you've enjoyed this adventure through Western Slovakia, which was a segment in my larger journey bicycling through Central and Eastern Europe. Before that, I bicycled from Cape Town, South Africa to Nairobi, Kenya, so bicycling through half of Africa. And before that, from Canada, where I'm from, all the way to southern Patagonia in Argentina. And all those videos are available on the same YouTube channel, Hum of the Earth. And if you'd like to see an interactive map of everywhere that I've been and everything that I got to see and do, that is available over on my website. Follow thehumoftheearth.com, where you can click on the different locations and see the various blog posts and videos that I've made of these places.
Turn right, then you'll arrive.
If you'd like to follow my continuing adventures bicycling through, again, Central and Eastern Europe, you can do so by clicking on the red subscribe button below the video and then clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. So that's going to do it. Hope you guys had a good one.
You have arrived.
See ya.